Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. What is up, everybody? We are back for the Fastlane recap and review. I am Dan from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. I am joined by Scott. I am joined by Lucas. We are awaiting the arrival of the masked one. He's probably just gone for a last-minute mask adjustment. But our resident luchador will be flipping his way, hopefully, into this conversation very soon. But in the meantime, while we are waiting for Rob, that gives me the opportunity just to tell you guys what else we have on the channel. Scott, recently you sat down and you reviewed Fastlane with the Hangover, the Fastlane Hangover, which is basically a new feature that Scott is going to be doing pretty much immediately after the show, really, isn't it? And you're basically in all your...
As soon as I'm up and
as soon as you've got a bit of a hangover, depending on how late the show is and how tired you are.
Yeah, I mean, on today's one, you'll see. So if you haven't seen it already, guys, after this, please go watch it. But I go into basically how little sleep we get over here because of having to get up and cover it and watching it so late in the UK. Obviously, last night wasn't so bad because it was 11 p.m. because things have worked out at the moment as far as time zone irregularities. So it wasn't as bad, but I still managed to get hardly any sleep. And it's a fun little show. So hopefully that'll be good going forward.
Indeed. And Lucas, you've got your own review as well coming up, I guess. What do you want to just tell the lovely people of YouTube all about what's going on with your one as well?
So I'll be doing Fastlane in a nutshell. So I'll be kind of giving you the headlines as quickly as I can, I guess. Letting you know the key things that happened at each pay-per-view every month. Obviously, last night was interesting one, as lots of things kind of happened spread out throughout the show, as we're going to get into and delve into more deeply on this, obviously.
Exactly, yeah. That's why this is good, because this is going to be a long one. Mine's a middle one. Yours is a short one. It's like the three bears or whatever. And then, Dan, you're doing your little wrap-up with, all the fallout and all the things that happened since, obviously, because wrestling moves so fast, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, wrestling is obviously not just a pay-per-view cycle. We obviously do have Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK as well. As we know, for obviously over WrestleMania weekend, there's going to be NXT UK shows. There's going to be Hall of Fame. So pretty much everything that we don't necessarily, or that we're not able really to cover on these shows, because obviously they are long enough as they are. We don't really want to be elongating them too much with additional stuff about Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. But I will be hopefully coming to you guys live every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, with just basically my thoughts on the week in wrestling, essentially. So it'll be bits of Raw, bits of NXT, and bits of SmackDown, and I will essentially lay the SmackDown on the week in wrestling. If it's a pay-per-view week as it is at the moment, then obviously there'll be a little bit of pay-per-view talk peppered through that as well, but obviously not too much, because that's obviously what we are here for. So
yeah, looks like we're still going to wait for Rob for a while. Hopefully he can get in, but I guess for now let's just go ahead.
So where are we going to start? Let's see. So if you were tuning in last night, you would have seen that we started this show, and towards the end of it, there was a match that actually popped up on the pre-show. And the match that popped up on the pre-show was the United States Championship match, which featured Riddle versus Mustafa Ali. Ali obviously accompanied to the ring by the Retribution crew of Reckoning T-Bar, Slapjack, and Mace. Look at how good was that? I remembered there was names off the top of my head. They're just so random. It's like, that was one where I didn't even have to look at the notes for. But yeah, so this match obviously was a very late prediction from all of us. We all pretty much went with Matt Riddle or Riddle. Yeah, we did kind of feel that there may be some kind of implosion with Retribution. Turned out, in fact, that there was at the end. So Riddle won the match with an amazing Bro Derek from the middle rope. After the match, Ali told Reckoning and Slapjack to get in line. They basically just told him, like, go F yourself, walked out. Was I literally the only one? So when Reckoning was walking out, I was like, is she literally just going to take the mask off and just be like, no, I'm not reckoning anymore, just me
she
again?
readjusted it, didn't she? I thought she was taking it off.
Yeah, I thought she was just going to take the mask off and be like, oh, I'm not reckoning, I'm Mia Yim now. And then Slapjack was going to do the same, be like, nah, I'm Shane Thorne, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And then obviously a throwback to the Brothers of Destruction with Mace and T-Bar with a beautiful double choke slam on Ali, leaving him laying in the middle of the ring. So, yeah, what do we think about all that stuff, guys?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of like were speculating last night, weren't we, on the live build-up. Thanks to those that joined us right away. Hopefully see you again next month. But yeah, we were talking about there, saying like, well, so I guess we won't go too far into our thoughts on how the stable's been and gone. But I guess it's over now, unless they've just kicked him out. And then Lucas's issue last night saying that, you know, it needed a star as its leader. Well, if you've not even got Mustafa Ali, then who's your leader now? So unless they get someone new in, I think they've got to disband. Well, that'd be cool, yeah. But yeah, I think, yeah, it's got to disband. I mean, like I said, decent match. Obviously, like you said, we were on here, and then straight after that, I was doing my pre-show cooking. And yeah, it was enjoyable for where it was, but now I'm just like, okay, where do all of these people go now?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Go on, mate, sorry.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, obviously, I'm very happy that Retribution are over. Well, appeared to be over. You never know what will happen, obviously, on Raw. But I think actually there's a market definitely for the two bigger guys, Diamadin and Dijakovic as a tag team. I really think there's a good market there for them. They actually looked quite impressive together as a tag team. And it's weird that in this Retribution thing, they've not really used them as a tag team. It's been like single stuff for Ali and stuff. In terms of obviously Mia Yim, I'm guessing she'll end up back on the NXT, maybe part of the Raw Women's division. But that might be, I guess, why they didn't have them all unmasked, because I think the problem is if they all unmasked, then kind of where do they go? You know, whereas at least now, like, they can, if they want to or need to, take some of them off television, you know, and obviously hopefully not for too long. You know, I don't want to end up with like another Andrade situation. But
it's done now, isn't it? Official.
Yeah, made official after the event, wasn't it, Andrade? So it's been future endeavoured, shall we say?
Yeah, it's a shame, but you know, he sat on, like I said, he
unless it's all at work, and he's going to be the new leader because he's not under contract anymore.
But yeah, look, I think in terms of the actual match wise, like, I'm not a fan of Riddle. I'm just not. I'm never going to be. You know, there's some wrestlers which I believe are like that for some people, and not to say he's not talented, because of course he is, but he's just a not for me kind of wrestler. And so I enjoy Ali quite a lot, actually, to be fair. And I think he always looked strong in his performances, and I was happy that they were able to do some kind of more kind of daring, kind of high risk stuff. I guess with the pre-show, one of those where they know not to do too much, but I guess they also know they can kind of get away with things because, you know, by that point, I'm guessing the higher ups are most likely thinking more about let's start the pay-per-view more so than let's care about what they're doing on the pre-show. But yeah, no, I think overall Retribution gone. I'm happy.
It's weird that they've gone on a pre-show.
But are they? This is the thing. Is it just a new start for them? Maybe. So you know, it could just be like a Retribution without Ali, or as we you know, we said there could possibly be like a new leader. But then it's who would that new leader be? How would it work and
Let's
that
pick
kind
someone.
of stuff.
Who would you like to see lead Retribution?
Is it who do I like? Who would we like to, or who would we?
And who would you think? Yeah, if they did, I guess. Yeah.
So it's got to be someone that's got a bit of beef with the company. It's going to be Charlotte Flair, isn't it? They've got rid of her boyfriend or fiance.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want it either. Actually, I don't know why I brought this up.
They've had her old man knock up Lacey Evans.
Alistair Black. That's who
that would be good. Be a good
he's
shout,
done
actually.
nothing for ages, and he could be such a star. So that would be cool.
Is he not technically on the SmackDown roster?
Who cares? They don't care about continuation of storylines, mate.
He was drafted to SmackDown, but he's never appeared for it. So I guess.
Might as well just go full hog and have Zelina Vega come back as part of the Retribution.
Let's go for it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one else to lead. This is the problem we said yesterday, though. There was no one really to lead them in the first place, so they shouldn't have done it at all. And now, obviously, we are where we are, where you got a stable on television for like the last kind of 8 months that no one cares about, and no one cares about the leader. So the best thing to do is just to expand it. I'm guessing they might do a match, potentially even on Raw tonight. I don't see them extending the feud. If there has to be a feud between the members or whatever. I hope not.
Unless he makes a new group. Like the core.
The core, oh god.
They'll have like slapjack on a pole match or something.
Gets custody.
But yeah, look, the right person won, I guess, in terms of what we're going through now, I guess. But yeah, I don't want to see Retribution ever again, if possible.
Gotcha, mate.
Yeah, I think it is one of those strange things, really, because I think they had the potential. We spoke about it a bit last night. They had the potential, obviously, to do some good things with them. Where obviously when they first came in, but I just feel as though when they actually had it as a set load of specific people, I think that's kind of when it went a bit like downhill. Really, I think if they'd have just continued it as being like, it's this like massive group of people, whether it's like, because you think they're continually having exactly, like they're continually having like new performance center recruits and that kind of stuff. There's probably a load of guys that are on NXT that are thinking, surely I should have made them like the main roster by now, kind of thing. And the fact, obviously, that they haven't is, for some of them, it's a bit like, what else have I got to do, sort of thing. And then obviously you got people on Raw and SmackDown that have not been used. It's like, you just put a load of random people under masks and they just cause havoc throughout the shows. It's like,
it's how it started. The whole, we haven't been used. Wink, wink. You know who I really am, but I haven't been used. And then it was like, I'm not that person. And then now it's like, well, what was all this about then? Why did we do this storyline?
Like if you look at the initial lot that came in when they had like the spray cans and the chainsaw, guarantee none of them were the actual guys that ended up as Retribution. Like they were all about the same height. Like Dijak's 6'6", I think. So is probably Mace. So both of them are like 6'6", and it's like these guys are all about like 5 foot, 5'8", 5'9", something like that. They all look like quite short people. There was, I think, at one point people were like, "Oh, this is such and such," because you could tell by like what color nails they had and all that kind of stuff. It's
back when people cared.
Exactly, back when people cared. And the thing is, that would have been the kind of stuff that it's strange because it's the kind of thing they've not tried in front of a live audience. So you never know. You're never going to know how it's going to be in front of that live crowd. And I think that's partly as well why they're doing the whole Drew chasing the title thing, because they never saw what the reaction would have been to Drew winning the title at Mania in front of fans. So
because surely, like with Retribution, they are essentially a pandemic stable. They've only existed, and I think now they realise that obviously with Mania having fans back, and I'm hoping they might find a way, hopefully, to get some fans back. Obviously, at other events, post Mania. It is a case of we don't actually want this rubbish in front of a crowd now.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the problem with Retribution was when, like you said, when they revealed who they were, and then the masks the mask was the last nail in the coffin of it having any salvageability, because it just was so bad. The masks were awful, and it just made everyone to switch off. It made everyone switch off.
Yeah, I guess it's over with then, unless something happens on Raw. But at the moment, it looks like it's done. So I guess so will we.
Yeah, and obviously something else that is over. That is the friendship between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Obviously, the main show kicked off with I nearly called them SmackDown, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships being defended by Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Now, this was actually the first time that we had all pretty much was split on who we thought was going to win. This had some big implications at the top of the table, as we know, in the pursuit of the gold.
Yeah.
And so me and Scott both thought that this was going to be Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair's time. Lucas, yourself, and Rob both said it was going to be Jax and Baszler. You may also recall during the pre-show, or during the show that we did last night, the preview show. There we go. That's the correct word. During the preview, that we did say, would you change? It's weird because I would have changed here. Like, if you'd have said to me, obviously in hindsight, we can all say that, but before the show started, I was thinking like, yeah, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. But yeah, so what did you guys think of this? Lucas, obviously you got a point for it. Me and Scott never.
Yeah, no, I think the right decision was made. I think obviously we flirted yesterday. We spoke a lot about, will they do or on the main episode, sorry, we spoke a lot about, will they have the tag champs feud? And I spoke very much against that. I said, no, I did not want that to happen. And I'm glad they're not doing that. So saying that, they'll now probably win them on SmackDown. I think the ship sailed now. They've got 2 matches. And I think it's the right decision to do, because I think, to be real now, I think, a solid match, by the way, I felt, as far as, women's tag action goes. I do think that, they could somehow maybe salvage a tag division out of this if they wanted to. But it's WWE, so we never know what their kind of thing is. But I'm happy that Nia and Shayna retained them, as they only just won them, didn't they, a couple of months ago, off of Charlotte and Asuka. But in terms of what happened after the match, just what's kind of thing, it's weird. This could obviously, they only get away with this now because of the obviously having no fans thing. Because obviously, when they're doing the talking bits after matches, happened on a couple of occasions. Well, the Retribution match as well, didn't it? We could hear kind of everything they were saying in the ring to each other, and the same thing here. And I quite like it in a weird way. Like, I think obviously it only suits now, because obviously you couldn't get away with that in front of an actual crowd, because people don't know what the hell they're saying. But in terms of obviously having no fans and the fact that they can turn down the audio, if everyone else, it made sense. That slap, whew, that's some.
Yeah, she didn't hold back, did she?
That was good though. That was good. So obviously Sasha seemingly to turn her back on Bianca Belair. But here's the issue, and it's the bigger issue really with the whole pay-per-view, is we're only getting a Mania build 3 weeks before the show. So we're getting 3. We're gonna have this, and then that's gonna obviously have the kind of aftermath and fallout of that on SmackDown this week, and we're gonna get 3 times of that, and then they're having a match at the biggest show of the year.
Yeah, we should have had it ramped up from the Rumble. I mean, obviously straight away Sasha couldn't really. It might have been too quick for Sasha to go heel, but we should have we didn't need all this tag crap.
Because that's why I liked the year very much when Asuka won the Rumble, and she just straight away said, "I'm challenging Charlotte Flair." That was the first Women's Rumble
with the women.
Yeah. They had the 2 champions obviously come out, and at the time they were. It was Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, wasn't it? Yeah, as a champions. But
yeah, that's when Ronda
like,
debuted. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, what are you doing?
Mm.
You know, in the straight away she went for Charlotte, and it was like, yeah, that's cool. You know, that's cool. We got the match done, dusted. But this year, both Rumble winners did the whole, I might go to here, I might go to there. And it's like, no one believed Edge was going to face Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, whatever his name is.
Prince Devitt, yeah. Dated.
No one believed it. Sorry, no one believed that was going to happen. You know, the fact they sent him to NXT to kind of go, oh, maybe. It's like when the ECW Championship was an option back in like 2007, 2010.
Yeah,
like,
but it should have been no Edge. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
No, it wasn't gonna. It was never going to happen. I know, obviously, maybe you're maybe a bit more of an interest there. You know, potentially, something you thought could happen. But I think when you put your WWE hat on, it's like Edge isn't going to come back to fight. You know, in developmental, like it's not going to happen.
It's not developmental anymore. Come on, I know what he said. It's not Raw and SmackDown, but he himself said NXT was a big part of why he came back. So it was possible. I mean, more possible than the days of the ECW title. I think you understand NXT a little bit there. I get what you're saying, but yeah,
it's not the main card though. Like in terms of like casual fans who watch wrestling or. Like the demographic that would be
Finn's the guy for it, though. You know, like they will know Finn.
I'm sorry.
They will know Finn. The casual fans, they'll be like, "Oh, where's that guy been?" If they haven't watched NXT, but they'll know who he is. So.
Well, the thing is, if you're a casual fan, you just assume that Finn Balor just like got killed by the Fiend. That he legitimately got his neck broken at SummerSlam, and that was it.
Yeah.
And obviously, fair enough. Now he's popped up in NXT, but I think obviously NXT, it's higher than ECW. I don't want to devalue it that much, but I think there's still that kind of. It's not on the same level as Raw and SmackDown. That's the problem. You know.
There we go. JVDB saying NXT is not developmental, Lucas. It's not. Oh, come on. You're ignoring like 5 years of great progression here, Lucas. Don't be like that. It's not Raw and SmackDown.
They're not part of the draft. They're not part of Survivor Series. We weren't last year anyway.
Yeah, but they're not OVW, FCW standards.
I think he's on about the NXT where they used to carry like barrels around the ring. That kind of stuff.
Well, I've heard that over some of the boring stuff they've done the last few months. Bloody hell.
Oof.
But yeah, look, I just think that they should have done a much better job. We've said this, but we're going to tell you this more about Edge, I guess, as the show goes on. But yeah, that's my take. The match was decent. What happened afterwards was decent. But it's like, why are we only getting it through it's for the biggest show of the year? You know, because now it gets me thinking that perhaps Sasha will retain at Mania and they're going to have a rematch after that because there's not a feud. How are they going to have, how are they going to escalate this enough in 3 weeks to get that to be the biggest match? When obviously after that, we know they've got stuff like Money in the Bank. I don't know if they have Extreme Rules. And then when they move that to again, if that's in July or September or whenever it is, they keep moving that about. But it's like they have all those other shows coming up afterwards. So it doesn't feel right, like, but hopefully they would do something to be able to finalize this at Mania.
We hope. So we are gonna there we go. So we are now gonna flick over to our resident luchador for his thoughts on correctly predicting Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler defeating Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
You can throw in a one line of Retribution and Riddle as well, because we've done that, but it'd be interesting to hear your one line, Rob. You only get one line for that.
Sorry, it was such an anticipated wait. I have no idea what was going on. My mic was on, my camera was on, and I just couldn't get in. But I've touched settings and it works, so hopefully.
Oh, there we go.
Use these lucha powers and somehow.
Surprisingly, I was happy that Riddle won.
Well, okay, big coming from you.
Yeah. I know, and I actually wanted him to win as well. When I was watching the match, I was like, I don't like the fact that I'm cheering him on.
Things are changing around there.
But then they went backstage and it ruined everything. When he spoke.
Scooter, what are you talking about? That was great. Scooter and all that. Nakamura hiding.
But on the tag match, it just made sense for them to go with the Nia Jackson Shayna retaining, because I didn't want to see a rehash of what we said before of a tag champions going in, and it's just stupid. At least this way, we actually get a heel and a face of Sasha being a heel, and it just makes me want Bianca to win even more with that slap, because that was vicious. Has she been taking lessons from Stephanie McMahon? Because that was hard.
You know what I liked as well, the fact that she looked kind of conflicted, and then she was like, you know what? Cool. Now I know. And now I know. And Mania is coming out. I like that because I feel like it fit her character. Too often I think you'd get the person just retaliate like really fast. Like she is still a rookie, So I like the fact she kind of was taken aback by that and go, oh really? All right, we'll see. And now, like I think from SmackDown onwards, we're going to get like a ramped up version of Belair going after Sasha. So I'm looking forward to it now.
Yeah.
And the fact Sasha obviously keeps calling her rookie as well is it. I guess it just leads into them wanting to play this like, oh, it's the rookie and the pro sort of thing, and harking back to the old NXT days when it was developmental. So, we are now going to move on to the Intercontinental Championship match, which was Big E defending the championship against Apollo Crews. So with this one, there was only one person who correctly predicted a Big E retention, and that man is our resident luchador, Rob.
Yeah, do you know what? I do want to boast a little, but when I see the pinfall, I was so confused of what the hell happened.
So was I, man.
I was like, who won that? Who got the pin? Who got the pin? It was so confusing.
It's strange. They didn't even they never announced who actually won the match. It was just literally the referee just pointed at Big E. No music played. No, they didn't say the winner of the match and still Intercontinental Champion Big E. It was just,
Do you think that was the end spot and it went wrong, or do you think it weren't the end spot and it went wrong? Like, do you think it was meant to be a kind of like, oh, I'm rolling back this way, and it's a shock pin, and they clustered that up, or do you think it was meant to be a kick out as well?
Don't know. I mean, the refs have been told to call them as shoots, essentially, haven't they now? So,
I felt like it was meant to be more, and that's why the music didn't hit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think because the pin that he did was a small package, and I think what they were trying to do is for Big E to do the whole. So obviously, Big E was being pinned, and Big E to roll himself over so that he'll be pinning Apollo. When the Big E rolled himself, he rolled out of the pin. And what the referee did is just counted 3. So I think there's some sort of miscommunication somewhere, because obviously when you watch it again, the count is just 1, 2, 3, and the referee ignores the fact that the pin has actually changed. And in a nice possible way, I just assume that she just, these things happen. It's a mistake. It does happen. They do happen. But I'm just assuming that she just didn't see who was on the bottom of the pinning thing. But it was very odd.
Yeah, it was. To me, it sounded like she'd done 1, 2, and then she started a fresh count, because it's like, I think where you couldn't actually hear the referee shouting 1, 2, 3 as such, it was just super strange. And the fact, obviously, it makes it feel like there is like a little bit more of a mistake there, because there was no music, there was no like official announcement. It's like it seemed like there was a bit of a scramble to like, well, what has actually happened? It's just literally a case of, oh, Big E's won, just point at Big E just to signal that's who the winner of the match is. And it's just.
Other than that, though, I thought it was a great match, and it weirdly, even though it ended like that, it made me think, I want a definitive answer now. So it's kind of worked in their favor, and especially with Apollo Crews like going mad at the end, and Big E really selling it. I thought they did a really good job there. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them at WrestleMania. So I guess it's done its job.
Yeah, for me, it was it was strange. It was one of those where obviously I want the points, but it would have made more sense for them to kind of.
Appeared. You're right.
I would have liked the fact if it was a double pinfall, so there wasn't a winner. Obviously, that would have ruined my points. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But having a double pinfall and then having Apollo then do the destruction that he done on Big E would have fit more. So I don't know if that was the plan, but it botched, so they gave it to Big E. I'm not sure. But what did you think of the Apollo Crews attack after?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yes.
It makes me think it's leading to Last Man Standing at Mania.
No, stop with that match manipulation. You're obsessed. You want shares of it or something?
Yeah.
Stop.
I
every
always
time
kind of-
there's a poking attack. He's like, last man standing, last man standing.
And they but the thing is they actually mentioned it in commentary as well, because the commentators actually were saying, oh, Apollo is the last man standing.
Oh,
so
no.
that's what makes that was what planted the idea, because it's like
Okay,
you
I'm
think
not watching Last Man Standing match anymore. I'm not doing that.
I've always not been the biggest fan of him, but since Lucas went hard on him a few months back, since then I've hated them even more. You know, so, like,
I think-
so now I'm like, oh, it's because of your influence, Lucas.
I just think because the referee stopped knowing how to bloody count after
that
6, it was
terrible,
ridiculous.
that
And
Because,
Yeah.
as we're going to discuss when we get to Drew and Sheamus, you can just do full shot anywhere, no holds barred street fights, and get all that crazy stuff in, but not have to keep resetting the match.
It's
Every
still
5
the
seconds.
excitement of a
It's
2
so
count,
annoying.
you know, of a kick out. So
They're literally the worst match stipulation that's ever been invented. It's a last man standing match.
Judy Bagwell on a pole weren't great. On
I
a
mean-
forklift or whatever it was.
Oh,
Didn't they do Viagra on a pole as well once?
Yeah,
I
that's
might
what I
have
think.
think that.
Probably.
But yeah, I don't know. I just
In
think
WWE, at least, you know.
Oh, okay.
in recent times, I think they've just got worse as well. I think that's
Yeah.
the problem. You had the Edge and Norton one last year going about 5 hours, and then you had obviously the handcuffs need to be banned from wrestling. Full stop. It's stupid. It's just it is just stupid. The more you think about it, why would there be handcuffs? Why would someone have a key for the handcuffs? You know,
I'm all right with duct tape though. That was good with the teeth still. Duct
there's
tape.
been some creative stuff they've done, but I just think it's finished now. Like maybe rest it for a few years and you can bring it back.
Yeah.
In terms of this, I do want to see it at WrestleMania. I think definitely they deserve their time to shine. Deserve obviously, hopefully, at least 10 minutes. You know, hopefully this is again thing with the 2-night thing. They can do that because they can have obviously, you know, give more time to some people. Obviously, that they wouldn't. Obviously, they had to have the usual 6-7 hours all in one night kind of thing. But yeah, I'm interested. I think I love the Apollo's new gimmick as well. Or Apollo's, not the Apollo.
The Apollo. No, let's just call him that.
He's not
Now
the
on. That reminds me though as well. Obviously, we did a lot of coverage going into Fastlane, but there's a few smaller videos on the Rebellious Noise main channel as well that I still think you should check out, guys, if you haven't seen it, where we basically talk about Apollo's gimmick and also talk about why you think Daniel Bryan should go to Mania, which I'm sure we'll touch on a little bit later as well. But yeah, so there you go. Will it work? I think so.
talking of stuff that worked, the next match worked, didn't it? The old Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon.
Did it?
This was on and off more than a bloody light switch, I think. But yeah, we kind of knew it weren't going to happen when they didn't even know it was going to happen. So obviously this turned into actually Braun Strowman versus Elias. There was a backstage segment with Shane and Elias that obviously was, just randomly Elias walking up to Shane. And yeah, surely you'd know what's going to happen as soon as Shane gets you out in the ring. You're going to be facing Braun Strowman when you see Shane coming out with ice on his knee.
But you're forgetting though, Shane's surrounded by a lot of people that are stupid, apparently. Braun is stupid. That's the whole storyline, is that Braun's stupid and he doesn't like being that, apparently. And Elias is stupid for not realizing what was going on. So should we be surprised?
Ended up getting his butt kicked by Big Braun.
I'm confused as to why Adam Pearce was watching Shane O'Mac train. I just don't understand it. Why was he there? Like,
yeah.
Who just observes someone training for no reason? Like, if it was an exhibition training like thing, fine. But Adam Pearce was just like, it was kind of a proud dad. Oh my, he can train.
Is he younger than Shane?
Because his actual dad couldn't be bothered to watch.
It just really confused me. And the minute it went down, it was like, oh, someone get some ice. I have never seen such bad acting before. And we review bad films. So, and that was below that. So, but yeah, it just confused me.
I don't know what I think of this. I don't.
I'm glad the lights got on the show, but other than that,
And who's his stunt double as well? I thought Damien Sandow would come back.
Jackson Riker.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay, because it just looked. You know the Spider-Man meme when they just point at each other.
yeah.
I was just waiting for that moment.
I saw a clip of the Sandow Mizdow stuff the other day, and I was reminded how amazing it was when it was a clip where Sandow was giving himself a suplex. Mate, I missed that. That was so good.
To be fair, like you would be forgiven though, Rob, for forgetting who Jackson Riker was, considering the former stable he was in, the Forgotten Sons. Right? So,
mate, I was going to do that pun, and then I thought, no, I'll leave it.
You're like, yeah, we'll leave Dan to do that. So,
I'm glad we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think look, end of the day, this was one of those where they've obviously decided last minute on this angle that they did. I guess it was maybe better than nothing, slightly better than nothing. I don't know. Obviously, this is a feud which I'm guessing are going to resolve itself at WrestleMania with Shane jumping off something, one way or the other. I felt
Vinny's in a bath, by the way, guys. Vinny's in a bath. Thanks for letting us know. What's your favourite bath bomb? Shane McMahon jumping into a bath. That'd be quite a bath bomb, wouldn't it?
a swanton.
Hey.
Swanton bath bombs.
I'm still waiting for the Rebellious Noise bath bombs, by the way.
Oh, we'll bring him out eventually.
Yeah.
And a big question for you, Lucas. Mm-hmm. What happens to Sonya in the end?
Sorry. he knows it will always get me.
Explain.
Yeah, I need to know. Like, I'm so confused.
There's a Little Britain joke. It's a Little Britain joke from like ages ago. But Vinny and I, he always sends it to me.
Is it clean?
Probably not. It's Little Britain.
Little Britain's considered clean anymore. Let's let's go back to wrestling.
Yeah.
So we'll stick to wrestling. Yeah, fair enough.
In terms of this though, it was fine. At least it was short. A nice thing alive and pay per view, I guess. But it was just funny though when they did the start of the performance and then Shane just like, yeah, you're facing him now, and somehow he was okay with that. Yeah.
Probably just happy for the payday, mate. That's it.
It was just a bit daft, but also as well, I don't know, I haven't watched the weeklies in a while, but have Shane and Elias had any kind of segments together or anything since Shane's return?
No, not really.
So Elias literally decided that the friendship from about 2 years ago that ended up with them on the receiving end of many beatings from like Roman Reigns, Undertaker when he came back, and several other people. He decided that was a good friendship to continue.
Good memory, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
But hey ho, look, it was short. It was short and it existed.
Yeah, and then so the match then that it led into next was between Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins. We spoke obviously a little bit about this, the fact obviously that Seth and Cesaro were having a bit of a set two, shall we say, over on SmackDown. And Shinsuke Nakamura was defending the honor of his friend. Unfortunately, he came up short. Rollins performing a black magic kick and a curb stomp on Nakamura to get the 1-2-3. Looks like this could well be now leading to Seth and Cesaro at Mania.
Yeah, which again, like we said on our build-up show last night, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see Cesaro if he finally does get a Mania singles match. And I'm happy to see Seth not thrown straight back at the top of the card again. It was a decent match. It started out quite slow. On my Hangover review this morning, actually, again, if you haven't seen it yet, watch it after this one, please. It really fit the gimmick because I completely forgot about this match and I had to post-production edit it back in. And I didn't spend that much time on it, so I did say in that I will go into a bit more detail here. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Something I did mention on that was the spot where Nakamura slid outside the ring and then pulled Seth back basically as he was on the ropes. Basically did a German suplex, which I thought was really cool. Some really innovative stuff in this, like again with Seth, like the bit where he misses and then his foot was over Nakamura one side and he jumped back. You know, it was so cool. There was a lot of good stuff in this. Like I said, it started out quite slow, but towards the end, it was like, man, I want to see more of these guys go. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And I really like that Seth was annoyed about the 22 swings. I'm glad that someone remembered how many times they got swung by Cesaro and said 22. And like, this was a point of anger for him in this. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I'd like to see more, really, but we're going to go into Cesaro. I know some people are thinking, what if they make it a triple threat? But then it doesn't really make sense for Nakamura to defend his friend's honor and then I'll fight against you as well, though. You know, so I don't know where that's going to go unless Nakamura or Cesaro turn heel on each other, which doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, this was actually really good, actually. I think in the sense of, especially obviously the two matches that kind of came before that, with the IC title match messing up, and then the Shane mess. I think it needed a match like this. It was a good example and showed obviously that Seth is still able to go. It's still one of the best kind of workers they've got there, and it was a nice spotlight for Shinsuke. Well, I don't know when the last time he actually had a singles match on pay-per-view was, and it was a weird omission. From the Chamber last month, I felt.
Especially after getting built up just around that period.
Yeah. And so it's nice. Obviously, he had a singles match. I think the right person won overall. I think obviously Seth is still a star. I'm not too sure whether he will get another main title run. Don't know whether he should. I don't know whether that's in the thing. I think I get a feeling they've moved on from that. They might return to it, but I get a feeling they've moved on from that. But definitely this is one where I'm guessing they are going to have to start looking for future main event talents on SmackDown post-Mania, like I said yesterday, because obviously if Edge, once the Edge thing's done, he's part-time. So whichever way that happens, he's either going to be leaving for a few months or a few weeks or whatever with the championship, or just Roman's still the champion and Edge of the challenger not going to be there, for potentially a few weeks or months. So it was nice to see this kind of match happen. It's been a while since they've done this kind of thing. I think it's like it throws you back to the time when they just randomly did. I think they did AJ Styles and Finn Balor once on like a pay-per-view. For no apparent, no real reason. I guess there was a reason here.
Was that the one where people came down with like
flu and stuff?
The bug or that big bug or something, and then they just chucked Finn and AJ.
Kurt Angle in the Shield. That's literally what that pay-per-view is all about. Kurt Angle in the Shield. But yeah, they did like AJ and Finn Balor, on that card, and it was just a really good match. And this is what it was. It was just a really good match. I felt they worked well together. Obviously, Shinsuke, he's not, to people obviously who harp on about him a lot. Like, he's not obviously the same performer that he was when he was obviously having those amazing Wrestle Kingdom matches, a few years back. And he has to turn on a little bit, but this was for the WWE's version of their kind of indie Mania kind of match. This was it, and Seth really performed well here. And I didn't know about Seth's theme coming back, the Burn It Down thing, until you obviously mentioned it yesterday. But if it felt right. I don't know why they got rid of it. Now that I've heard it,
would have been good at the Rumble, wouldn't it, if he come back with that? So,
and Nakamura's too.
Because people associate it so much with him as a face, so maybe that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, no, enjoyable match, good stuff.
Sometimes that's all you need is a good wrestling match on a wrestling show.
Indeed.
Who knew it was that easy?
It's a man sometimes, it seems.
Yeah, no, for me, it was, as you said, it was a wrestling match. I think it was nice to just see it. It didn't need to be anything special. It was one guy defending his friend's honor, and that was it. It was such a simple, like, put together match, like story wise. And then the match itself was beautiful. Like, it's just one of those, I could watch it again and be like, oh, I didn't see that bit. I missed that bit. And as you said, when he slid down and pulled F back, it was, it's just everything that it needed to be without being over the top. I'm glad they were given time as well to actually showcase what it could be. It does make me think what they're going to do now, because as you rightly said, it's not going to be a triple threat match, but where are they going to go?
Tag wouldn't make sense unless they really do bring
Murphy
what's his
back.
name? Murphy back into the fold, which maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm interested in Seth and Cesaro at Mania. what else could you possibly want? You finally get to see Cesaro in a singles match at Mania against someone like Seth, who both they're going to elevate each other in a match, and I just don't think it could be knocked upon and put in a position where, oh, this is a dead match. You know, normally, sometimes Cesaro has them toilet break matches when he gets given someone that's just awful, you know, and he tries to make the best out of a bad situation. But I think this time it's, you know, if it's set up right, and so far it has been, and it continues to do that and they don't ruin it, then this could be, I think it could actually be match of the night at Mania.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Could well be. I mean, it'd be a really good match to actually open either night of WrestleMania, you know, set the pace and, or to use a pun, set the bar for the rest of the show sort of thing. So, and talking of setting the bar, it leads me nicely into the next one. So, Cesaro's old tag team partner in the bar, Sheamus, then took on Drew McIntyre in a no-holds-barred match. So, this match was, I guess, everything we thought it was going to be. Just brutal, absolutely battering the living heck out of each other.
I was going to say, we're live, Dan. Watch it.
I know. Drew obviously coming out with the Braveheart face paint as well.
Yeah.
I was half thinking, is Sheamus going to come with like an Irish flag or something like that? But
I hope that's not Drew's new gimmick. I thought, because when Sheamus didn't come out of it, I thought, oh, they're going to do this because they're going to say, look, we've made it. Look, we've come, you know, over the world. You know, I'm the Scottish guy, you're the Irish guy. We're going to, little bit of a throwback there. That'll be nice to our roots. And then when it was only Drew, I was like, oh no, I think he's Braveheart. No, like,
you know, broken dreams back, man.
Mate, the sword was one thing, you know, like, because it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. But the whole, remember when Sheamus was like, yeah, your mum sent this over. Remember how whoever it was, your ancestor was, what? Like, where's this come from? Like, his gimmick is literally now, I'm Scottish. You know, like, that's his gimmick. That's his stereotype. The stereotype Scottish, but like, it doesn't need to be that. Like, Drew's got a lot about him. So that's what I'm a bit scared of now, that Vince is going full, because last night me and Lucas were texting watching live, and Lucas said, I bet Vince has just seen Braveheart. And I was like, I think you're right, mate. Like,
wait, what's Braveheart? I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, wrong guy. Yeah, sorry, Dan.
Why are you spoiling stuff?
Old film.
So basically, is it basically a bunch of guys walking around like Smurfs with like blue faces and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Right. I kind of get the gist of it now, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, it's basically Drew McIntyre. Yeah,
it's basically Rob.
Rob.
Yeah, minus the. Do you think I should do something here? Just
wait,
some blue or red.
Just hide the rest of your face.
A beard? What, you want to put face paint on?
I can't look weird with a beard.
So what do you want to do? Like put face paint on?
Yeah, do you reckon? What do you reckon?
Don't you think that would take you a bit of time to get ready, mate?
I'll just slap it on.
Yeah, every show you want to do that.
It'll come in like gold dust.
I mean, if we get enough comments for it, I'll do like Joker smiles and.
You were late today. I ain't adding face paint into that as well. Facebook face paint's gonna really delay you.
No, it wasn't. That was an accident. I mean, I'll do it live while we're talking. You know, we'll see.
All right, maybe live. That might be entertaining. If you want to see that, guys, let us know.
But yeah, I did like the face paint on Drew. My only concern is I don't want it all the time. You know, if it's a big event match and like at Mania or like one of the big four, fantastic. Bring the sword out, you know, and do whatever you want, and you know, Frida and all that stuff. Great, but but
next thing they need is broken dreams. That's it. Yeah, bring that theme back.
Yeah, we did ask him about that. Check out our interview with Drew from last year. Check that out, please, guys.
I don't want to see it all the time. Like the sword thing was great. It was a novelty, but I'm bored of it now. I don't need to see it all the time. Like it just kind of.
I think you're right. Special events.
Yeah. It just ruins the illusion of like, you know, the strong Scottishman. You know, but the match itself was brutal. I was really struggling to keep my eyes open because I'd work at 6 o'clock this morning, so I was trying to watch as much as I could, and then watch the rest at work. I ended up watching the rest of it on the way to work, and my eyes were squinting, and as they started to close, all I could hear was like slaps with like weapons, and my eyes just kept opening to the slaps. So
as long as it weren't on their thighs.
Oh yeah,
True,
yeah.
true.
Did you see that clip with Sami Zayn where he goes to slap it when he kicks Kevin Owens in the head on SmackDown? Brutal kick, and that's only happened because you're not letting him slap his leg. So Kevin Owens got, a real hard hit to the face there. Probably because Sammy was like, "Oh, I can't slap my hand." So yeah. But anyway,
Sorry, mate, I'm just going to boot you in the head instead.
Yeah, it's like, gonna have to. Sorry, last minute audible. So I thought the same thing, man. Like, I really, really enjoyed this match. Like, I say it in my Hangover review as well. Like, I love the main event, but this may be match of the night for me because for me, it just made me think, I wish this was at Mania. And again, like I like the whole Lashley thing. It's just an unfortunate timing. Said it on the build-up last night, said it on a Hangover, but unfortunate timing. I wish this feud was happening at SummerSlam or something like that, because that match deserved a bigger stage. And I really, really enjoyed it. And the story deserves a bigger stage as well.
I got shades of, do you remember when Sheamus and Cesaro went through the best of 7?
Yeah.
And every time they done a match, it just got more brutal and more like devastating. There was more destruction, and it got to that point. It reminded me of towards the end of that feud before they got put as a tag team. Minus, that obviously those didn't use as much weapons, but this one obviously loads of weapons are included. But I just loved it. It was the two guys just heavy hitting, and beating lumps of out of each other. But yeah, so going forward, how do you think it's going to play out with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus going forward? Do you think there'll be something extra?
I think it's done. Sadly, I think that is it now. Sheamus, like I was saying in my Hangover, like I feel like he needs to be rewarded now, because I feel like that was a great match, and he's had a decent few months as well, and he needs to have a good match at Mania. So as in be rewarded at a decent program, and I really hope he gets it. I don't know what now though. Like, does he go back to the Sheamus where he's convincing people Jeff had DUI? Are we going back to that Sheamus again, or what are we getting now? So I don't know. But I hope he gets something, and I hope it's good, because it showed like you can get invested in the Sheamus storyline in a Sheamus match. I know some people kind of go off him at times, but I genuinely think he's an underrated talent when you see him in matches like this.
Most definitely.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it's sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah, obviously with this kind of stuff, like obviously harping back to what I was saying about last man standing matches, why to avoid them. This match is an example of why they did everything you need to do, and more so. It was brutal. They were practically, their welts were, massive, weren't they, all over both their bodies. And definitely think it's one of those things where I think, Drew knows and Sheamus knows that Sheamus is not going to probably get another chance to be, on top again. And Drew seems like he's a gent, and obviously their friendship, obviously being so long, I love that Sheamus, to be fair. I miss his old theme sometimes, to be fair.
Oh, he said he wanted it back, didn't he? And they didn't let him.
And he said no, isn't it? Well, I guess, because
it's a shameful thing.
Lobster head.
But I love this match. I thought it was really good. The white noise through the table was amazing, and a nice little. You got to imagine it is a bit of a dig at AEW with this exploding.
No, man, it's not. They do this all the time. It always sparks.
Yeah, but
there was more pyro there.
Everybody's looking into this too much, man. They do it every single time. There's a screen getting hit all the time. You go off the stage, sparks fly.
Yeah, but I'm saying they didn't have to do that spot as part of this match.
Right.
That's what I like, the actual. Man. Yeah, I think it's just a bit convenient that it's happened so close, obviously, the AEW event. Not saying they copycatted or whatever, but look, I like this kind of thing. I think it was cool. And the final Claymore kick, wow. They showed the replay. One of those like, really? Like, he actually just like full on pelted him.
Because you can't slap your leg.
It's such a good move. The Claymore.
Yeah.
I remember saying this when Drew first started his ascension up the card, obviously, to what he's become now, and just being like, this is such a good move to get over. Fans are going to get behind it, and they did. When obviously fans were permitted.
I'm glad where they've got no fans, they don't do the stupid countdown anymore.
Yeah, I
Oh,
hated that.
thank God.
Thought that was
Yeah.
He's got the T-shirt with it on though.
Oh no! I hope he don't do it at Mania. I really hope they forget about that.
Yeah, that was a bit cringe, wasn't it?
Mm.
But look, the right guy won, but just beg the question of would this have been better if it was just a number contenders match? And if
100%.
without obviously announcing Drew before, but it's difficult. This is the thing; it's difficult because Scott and I we spoke about this in our private chat. Like the show did feel a bit like it was just an advert for Peacock. It was just like, "Hello, Peacock, money."
And where was your WWE champion as well? Like, not even an appearance from Lashley.
No,
even a backstage pre-tape thing would have been good. So,
or even have him at ringside to watch the match, like scouting his opponent for WrestleMania. It's like,
but then he probably would have been distracted and got involved, though, wouldn't he? So you couldn't not.
Yeah, true.
All that stuff going on. Why would he not just step in? So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, Clive enjoyed it as well. I really do think it was, for me, it's match of the night. I just so entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just two big men just beating seven shades of whatever out of each other.
The same thing.
To be fair, mate, there's like it's one of them where they've got so much like confidence in each other that they can just go out there, beat each other up as much as they can, and it's always good, these kind of matches with Sheamus, because whenever he gets hit with anything, it just shows up so much more because of how pale he is. You think, like, if you hit someone with a kendo stick, it's not necessarily going to show up. But on Sheamus, you see every little tiny, like, mark on there. It's just, it just looks so bloody sore.
How did he get that pale? Well, there's got to be a routine, surely.
Yeah, especially when he first came up to the main roster, like I feel like they purposely, like, I don't know,
baby,
insinuated like he looked like he had his skin looked like milk and his hair was
talcum powder, isn't it?
Crazy red. It was crazy red, like unnaturally. So I feel like it's changed over the years. He must have maybe he just didn't go out for about a year. I don't know.
Maybe he did his own lockdown back in like 2008. Before
maybe. Yeah. But you're right. It works in his favor. It looks really good. So, and I think they know that.
Yeah, could have been on commentary.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's an overdone thing though. This commentary thing. I know they do it quite a lot on TV. Obviously, and it is it's kind of when a movie just says a movie has a bar scene where the two characters just kind of talk. And it's just to get the acquisition out of, we want to get fast to the match. We're too lazy to actually do anything. So we're just going to have the person talk about it, on the commentary team. And it always ends the same way with the whole, accidentally getting pushed into them or, they go, "Oh, I've seen enough now." And they go to distract.
Yeah, I think you don't need that on a pay-per-view. This feud has been like pushed to the side enough, I guess. So it's good to not have any distractions.
Yeah, you didn't need that. No, it's a solid match. Best match of the card by far. Not by far. Best match of the card.
And you're talking about matches that didn't have distractions. It does lead us nicely into a match that did have a little distraction, I guess. And that was Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. So we all predicted that there was going to be an Alexa Bliss victory, except for Lucas, who said this was going to be a no contest. Yeah. We did actually see the re-emergence of the Kentucky Fried Fiend. Or Ivan Ooze. I've seen people refer to him as Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers movie.
I didn't think of that. I just thought Freddy Krueger, but yeah, mate, Ivan Ooze.
It reminded me of Jeepers Creepers with the face.
Yeah,
the way
And apparently, it's come out afterwards. Apparently, Randy Orton's wife is not too happy with the way that Alexa Bliss actually pinned him as well.
I did think it looked a bit suspicious.
Are we leading to a tag team match at WrestleMania, boys? Randy and Kim Orton versus Alexa Bliss and the Fiend.
Yeah, I hope not. But no, I mean, again, I know the the Hangover reviewed it. Well, it didn't go up that long ago, so you guys might not have a chance to see it yourselves. But in that, I know Lucas was saying on the build-up last night that he'd be interested to see my thoughts on this because of how I've been with these kind of matches in the past. But as I say on that, like it goes one way or the other, and this time it went the way of I really enjoyed it. Like I really liked it because it, like, if you're gonna do it properly, you know, like, and it goes in with the whole Undertaker kind of stuff, you know. So if I like that, I've got to like the Fiend stuff, you know. It's the Firefly fun stuff. Not too sure about that. Still not sure about Viking Raiders in the dumpster either. Well, I know I don't like that.
The octopus.
But the octopus and all that rubbish. But I do enjoy lightning rigs falling from the sky and fire. So yeah, it was cool, man. I really enjoyed it, and the Fiend looked great. I think if you're coming back, he couldn't come back the same way, and I think his mask looks so cool, like his hair and like his arm, like that arm coming up burnt. It was just like a horror movie, and for that, because it's that like a spectacle, I really enjoyed it. Is it wrestling? No, but is it entertaining? Yes.
I think the balance was right though on this show. When you think about it, like you had obviously the main event we're going to discuss very soon. I think it was about half an hour, and you had Seth and Shinsuke go at it, you know, quite competitively for again about 15-20 minutes. So I guess it's one of those where, you know, this didn't take up much time. I'm with you. I think everything in this was very well done. Like it's very hard. It would always be very hard for them to do an intergender match with obviously the kind of restraints they have on themselves being a family product. And yeah, with just the audience, you know, it's not something that most of the audience will kind of want to see. Like, you're not going to want to see. Like,
I didn't want to see him stomp in a mud hole. Like, I didn't want to see that. Yeah,
yeah, and it's hard. Like, yeah, like I think, yeah, it obviously pre-recorded, but the stuff they did do was all really good. You know, they chose, you know, well, I think, you know, this whole kind of, you know, cat and mouse from the chase thing. The Fiend's re-emergence was really good. Like really strong. I know obviously it's very gimmicky. Potentially this will be the very gimmicky match we have at WrestleMania. You know, there's been talks of them doing the exploding Firefly Funhouse. You know, we shall see. I think
those words, man. Like if someone said to you 5 years ago, yeah, WrestleMania we're gonna have an exploding Firefly Funhouse, you'd be like, what is that?
Yeah, I think now the thing is this feud's all been around fire and explosion, so there has to be some sort of explosive ending.
What was that? Was that an explosion there in someone's house? Did everyone hear that?
No,
it was my water bottle thing falling over.
Oh.
I thought the Fiend was coming in. Oh my goodness!
I don't know. It might be the other side of this door, to be honest. But who knows?
But yeah, in terms of how
there's no smoke.
Yeah, in terms of how you do this, though, I think this is the way to go. The Fiend's back. Yeah, wrestling has gone crazy, Clive. I agree. I think especially in the pandemic, they've had to find new ways to obviously provide the content for us. And obviously just seeing, especially when it was at the Performance Center, kind of just seeing the empty chairs or just seeing when they had like the smattering of Performance Center trainees in the crowd, like it was getting very boring just to watch because the crowd are the energy, and that's something which we will see when it comes to WrestleMania, that energy back, even though it is obviously we are used to WrestleMania with much more fans, but then to be fair, it's a stadium, so the sound escapes anyway. So
yeah, mate, if you had 10, it'd feel amazing at the moment, wouldn't it? You know, like there's an atmosphere more than there currently is. So
yeah, it's true. No, I'm looking forward to that. But I think they've had to find new ways, and I think I'm a big fan of cinematic matches, but I can see why people wouldn't. Because obviously I watch wrestling for entertainment, like more so than actual wrestling. So I get entertained by them. I like them. But I understand if you were tuning this in for a wrestling product, but then I'll argue if you're watching WWE for the wrestling, it's kind of not the thing they're known for the most nowadays, I guess. But overall, this whole thing was good. And yeah, I mean, in terms of the pin at the end, I can see why she would get, but I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, actors who are on stage, you know, have to kiss women they're not married to. You know, people have played characters that attract to the same sex as them. Like, yeah, it's fake. Like, it's not. Yeah, it's not real. And I think, like Randy's wife perhaps has overreacted to it. Please don't beat me up, Randy Orton.
Yeah, where's this come from? Did she tweet it, or is that just like a rumor?
Yeah,
she tweeted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, don't tell me she's going to become the new. What's her name? Rebby Hardy, the one who always is kicking off.
Oh yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Don't become one of those, please. We don't need.
Or is it Peyton Royce's mum? That was the other one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Charlotte recently. I can't feel bad for that. Imagine that. But well, I can understand the passion.
Yeah, I really liked it. I liked it was so basic of what was happening because we knew basically it was one of those. It was just a way to reintroduce a burnt fiend. That was it. That was literally what this match was, and it delivered.
Did it very well.
The hand coming up. Did you notice as well? There was a lot of like weird tension noises and build back suspension noises as the fiend was appearing.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that I don't know if it was overlaid or like in the audio or it was played live kind of thing. I can't really remember the way it was done because when I watched it back on YouTube and Peacock played their version, it seemed like the volume for it was turned up more than it was on the WWE Network
live
one.
Yeah.
So maybe they overlaid it and then obviously redubbed it. But the suspense music, I think normally I'm not a fan and I just like to be shocked by it. But this time it was so well done that I don't understand why people are moaning. They moaned that the Fiend hasn't appeared for ages, and now he appears. People are moaning that he appeared that way, and they're moaning about the match.
I didn't know people were moaning. To be fair, yeah, I haven't seen much.
Yeah,
I've been busy, obviously, hanging over. But yeah, I didn't. I didn't know people were even moaning about it. Surely this, like, what this is now. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming from someone that doesn't like cinematic stuff. Like, we all know what this is. So, and it was the best version of what it could be.
Exactly. I loved the Alexa Bliss. She was kind of. It was weird. He's the Viper, and the idea is he stalks his prey. But this time it was the other way around. She was, even though she was the one that was retreating, she was kind of stalking him from a distance. With things like with the lights dropping down, saying the sky's falling. They done the blood thing, or whatever the liquid is. I love the fact they still haven't spoke about what that is, but Alexa's fine with it, but it affects Randy. So I'm hoping that continues to play a part building up to Mania.
Probably just eating a bunch of licorice before he went out there and it just repeated on him.
But I do think Alexa Bliss deserves props for carrying not just her, but for carrying a feud. The same as with Bray a couple years ago when he faced Taker, and Taker didn't appear on any Raw, any SmackDown until basically Mania. And Bray carried the whole feud. And this time Alexa's done the job herself, carrying it. Bearing in mind it's a new character for her. Being in Bray's mind must be weird as it is. Then having to be put in a position to have to play someone that's crazy is even harder.
For me, Alexa Bliss is definitely top 5 actors in the company. Like every role she ever gets given, she performs it well. And I thought this before she did all this stuff. Like before she did the when she was just like Little Miss Bliss and all that kind of stuff. Like, and she was a heel. Incredible, man. Like her facial like reactions and stuff like that, the tone of voice, the things that are funny and awkward, she doesn't crack a smile on. Like, she is incredible as far as acting goes. So yeah, man, it's the perfect role for her. I think no one else could have done that role like she's done it on the roster.
No. But yeah, I mean, if people, she really deserves props for like really going outside of a normal position, and playing this mad character. But I've loved every moment of. It's been a bit booky at times. There is times I was like, oh, really? But this was like the perfect payoff for Alexa to bring Bray back. But yeah, no, I really like the mask. I'm unsure of the clothing.
I wasn't too sure about the clothes either.
Yeah, it did confuse me because I thought he would have come back in the same costume, burnt, But it was like a completely different thing. But I like. That was the only thing I didn't like about it. The actual costume itself looked great, and if you've seen close-up details of the mask where it's been burnt, and where the colouring and the fading and that. So whoever made the mask, fantastic job. As a mask wearer, I highly
you should go and see if they can get you a couple, mate. I think he normally goes to like some special effects guy. I think is the one who did the initial one.
When it's saying about Slipknot's masks.
Yeah, I think so, something like that. But yeah, I think they've done a really good job with the whole thing and that. And it was always weird because like when he had the gloves on, you could always see like parts of his hands still coming through the gloves and that. It's like this is like it does add a bit more mystique as well. So it's like you know, if you're not having the same person like necessarily portraying the Fiend, it's like it's one of those where you could have like Wyndham Rotunda and somebody else in a scene together,
or like crap dummy,
not not cinematic kind of thing, like have like a stunt double sort of thing there if you were ever going to have like a Bray Wyatt face off with him. So yeah,
I really enjoyed it. Surprisingly, I really enjoyed it.
So yeah, just I mean, the kind of last things I think on this match was, I think it was what it needed to be. Really, it wasn't obviously wasn't too much. I think the only thing was obviously Byron Saxton when he was saying about did the fireball hit, and it's like no, I think Orton blocked it. It's like
I mentioned that on the Hangover review. I was like, what? They're acting like it's a wrestling move. What are you talking about?
He reversed the fireball.
Yeah, so oh my god,
all of it.
So he got the knees up.
Not Mortal Kombat. Like, what the hell? You blocking fireballs.
What's he gonna do? Like come out of a shield or something next week? Or
mate, he's gonna be like was it like Sub-Zero next? He'll do the ice coming back. Yeah. Oh. Mate.
See, now it'd have been different if it had pulled out like a fire extinguisher from under the ring or something, and as she did it, just like squirt that. You'd think like
to block it, yeah.
You'd think there we go, but you know, it is what it is, and you know, obviously we don't know what goes through their minds sometimes with that. So yeah, so I think that's probably about it. I think on that match, obviously Lucas, the only one that didn't say Alexa Bliss was going to win, so nil point to you on that one. And now we move on to a match, well, the match that we were all the least, like, all decisive on pretty much. And that was for the Universal Championship, which was Roman Reigns defending the championship against Daniel Bryan with Edge as the special guest enforcer. Now, me and Lucas both said Roman Reigns was going to win. Scott, you said it was either going to be a no contest or draw caused by the enforcer. And Rob, the only one, Rob, that you incorrectly predicted on the entire show, you said Daniel Bryan was going to win, and that cost you a clean sweep.
Damn.
Yeah, well, we get to the points in a bit. It's getting scary up top.
I mean, it's so this match, obviously, for the Universal Championship, we do actually have a comment regarding championships as well, which was where is it?
Not the true one.
There we go. It's that one. Why do wrestlers fight over belts when they don't wear trousers?
It's a classic one.
These are the questions of life.
Lucas, do you know this?
Well, doesn't Vince hate the term belt anyway? It's
Strap.
banned words.
Yeah, strap. So speaking of banned words, did you notice on the promo where it must have been on SmackDown or something where Big E had to say, "You sent me to a local medical facility"? It's like, come on, bro, that didn't sound natural at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain belt is on the banned list. Longer is it title match? You can't say, or
title shot.
Title shot. You can't say.
So you have to say championship opportunity.
That's it, yeah.
Oh my God.
But it confuses me because they can't say belt, but on the WWE website, they have belts and championship. So,
different rules, mate.
Well, it's the same company. How can
when you can buy them on WWE, you can buy belts. The thing is, end of the day, if you're going to buy it off them, they'll call it whatever they want. If you're going to pay money, if money's coming out your bank account into theirs, you can call it a belt all you want. But if you're on television, then you'd not call it a belt. I think that's kind of how it is. But yeah,
it's good to see Del Boy joining us there, sneaking over the top.
Yeah, Del Boy and Rodder
poking over.
It's proper like poking his head over. Isn't it?
Rodney's clear above, obviously. But so some wrestlers like to wear belts with tights. That is very true. Yeah,
they do indeed. Yeah.
And the little panties.
Probably hold their trousers up in it so they don't fall down. So, but yeah. Anyway,
Here's a good one. In the words of CM Punk, let's get that one up. In the words of CM Punk, you can buy replica belts or he has a championship title. I remember that. He was very adamant about that.
Also was sat in his fridge, wasn't it, once upon a time as well? When he
maybe he didn't respect it in the way that he claimed.
So yeah, that's enough talk obviously about belts for now. Let's get into the actual crux of the championship match, shall we say, for the Universal Championship. And that was the what? Sorry, the title shot.
The title shot.
Daniel Bryan getting his championship opportunity against Roman Reigns, obviously. I thought this was a really, really good match. I like the fact that they played into the whole Daniel Bryan making Roman Reigns tap out thing, where Roman had never quit before, he's saying. So it's pretty much, for me, confirmed they're going to do a triple threat at Mania now. Surely have to be doing a triple threat. Because it's like, Bryan's like, well, I had you beat because you tapped out. Roman could be like, no, man, I never tapped. And
why is he Roman man? Why is he wearing the Brotherhood?
It's like, no, I didn't tap out.
But you know what? And again, I said this on my Hangover, and I keep plugging it, but check it out. My Hangover review, Roman had him beat as well. You know, like Roman after the spear, he was the first one who had him beat. Like who had the other person beat. So Roman has a claim as well, to be fair. So like it should have been over at that point. But like you said, like it's got to go to the triple threat. Well, we've kind of done this subject to death. Check out our videos on the main Rebellious Noise channel as well, where we had little fantasy booking talking about what we'd like to see for Bryan at Mania and why it's so key for him, like why he has to be involved. Because and again, I'll quickly touch on some of those points again, but Edge isn't getting the sympathy that they clearly wanted. It tells a great story of Bryan, and he doesn't even have to win it. And also, if you're not sure about how Edge is going to be in a one-on-one match, you know, then you got Bryan in there to take some of that kind of responsibility as well. So it's a win-win doing a triple threat. And it doesn't have to be Bryan winning. I'm fine with him not being the winner. Like I just want him involved.
I think with Bryan, it's the fact that he's just so well loved by the fan base, and obviously the fan base returning at WrestleMania and being a big part of WrestleMania, like he should be part of it. And I think people still harper for that match. Clive, so could it even be a fatal four-way for Jey Uso? Like potentially, like
at some point, Jay's got to realize he suddenly changed allegiances and was fine with it. You know, he's going to go, wait a minute, I didn't like Roman a few months back.
I mean,
imagine if they did that though, and Jey was the one that walked out with the title.
I wouldn't complain. It's been a good 6 months for him, man.
He's honestly been one of the best wrestlers of the past 12 months for me. Like honestly, Jey Uso, he's just gone leaps and bounds. In terms of this though, I think definitely. I mean, Scott and I were kind of talking last night again, and like, you know, we were saying that it does seem that they very quickly have soured on Edge versus Roman, very quickly, and you know that might even put a man in each corner. It's WrestleMania 2000 all over again.
The overrated.
I don't think Edge is overrated. Like,
it's like we said before, it's just not the year for him. He shouldn't have won the Rumble.
It's just the wrong timing.
That match can be, you know, we can have the Edge match and a Rumble winner match. We've said it before. That's just literally how it should have been.
Yeah.
But by merging them, for me, it's made WrestleMania feel smaller because obviously before, like you said, you'd have, you know, the Undertaker match or the Goldberg match or the Brock Lesnar match, etc. But you'd still have that and your world title matches. But now we've got Edge in the world title match, and then the other matches now seem smaller because of it. And in terms of they soon realized that's what they had to do. In terms of the actual match, though, the second half of that match, Daniel Bryan, he just showcased like why he's just so good. He is so believable at everything he does offense-wise, and he does some incredible sequences, absolutely incredible sequences that get his moveset over, get his opponents over, the facials, everything is just there, and he made a match which, and along with the booking team, because they've obviously had to advance this potentially, hopefully, onto something else. But they made a match which usually in usual years would be just, okay, Roman wins and he goes on and he faces Edge, into a match where, okay, wait a minute, are we getting a triple threat? Are we getting a fatal four-way? You know, is Daniel Bryan going to leave the championship? You know, which is a discussion which we couldn't have had.
Yeah.
You know, 2 months ago. You know, for this championship, and I think at the moment, I would favour. Maybe I would really be up for Daniel Bryan leaving WrestleMania as the champion.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, it doesn't have to be Daniel Bryan. Like, he doesn't have to be the one that leaves. I'm not sure about this whole Edge thing, because Edge, like, is he going to be a heel now? You know, because of what he did. Like, what's going on there?
Well, do you remember when we done the predictions, and I said either at WrestleMania or before then, Edge will become the heel in this match.
Yeah.
And you said that was a very bold statement. After last night, I'm so glad I made that statement, because the two heels and Daniel Bryan has to overcome both of them is like the perfect balance.
Ain't worth any points though, mate. So calm down with your prediction there.
I want a point for that. That was a bold point. That was the prediction.
Yeah, I think it does look like that now. I think Edge is definitely looking more likely to become a heel, and it's fine. But again, like you were saying the other day, Rob, like, what is it's just another thing of why. No matter what happens with Edge, it's like, why was he the Rumble winner? You know?
Yeah. It goes back to, as we were saying, it really doesn't make sense, because they could have done this without Edge becoming the Rumble winner, and then having Daniel Bryan go on and become the Rumble winner, and then have Edge versus someone else. Yeah, you know, you're completely right. Edge didn't need to win it to be a part of Mania, and he's still a part of Mania and won the Rumble, and now he's pretty much a heel. I mean, we don't know if he is or not. Nothing's set in stone yet. It could have been just his way of kind of ending the match.
Yeah, he was annoyed and whatever else. Yeah. I don't get why Jey Uso attacked him, though. Again, I mentioned it in my hangover. I don't get why he attacked him. Like, he could have... the same effect, he could have just beat up Bryan. Didn't need to attack Edge. And all of a sudden, Edge can counter free and stuff. Like, that's not what a guest enforcer can do, usually. So what the heck was that all about?
Well, Mike Tyson did it, didn't he, at WrestleMania?
Oh, yeah, true. You're right. But for me, it was like, you're keeping shenanigans out. I mean, obviously, that was never going to be the case. But I didn't see it as like it was basically a second referee.
I don't know. I've always seen it that way. I don't know. I've always thought it was that way. I always thought it was a case of enforce on the outside, and then they take over. Because he even said, didn't he? I think when he slid in, he said, "I'm, the referee's down or whatever." He said, "I'm the referee now." It wasn't too bad with that. Like, I think Edge has to be villain now. Like, this is very much when Batista won the Rumble, wasn't it? Like, had to turn him, didn't they? They tried him as a baby face against Alberto Del Rio. I think he had one match, and then it just became apparent that the force that was done at Bryan was had to be involved with this main event. And I think now it's the same thing. Flash forward 7 years, but people have said it's fine, but we want Daniel Bryan in there. I think it is the right thing to do. And I guess if it is going to be Bryan taking the pin from either Edge or Roman, at the moment I still can't call who would win that. Then I think at least he's got his Mania moment, like Scott said.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as Clive said, they could even
Clive,
do first.
Clive, have you seen our video, mate? We discussed this the other day.
Yeah.
Dan brought that point out the other day on the main prediction, actually, on this channel. But there is a shorter, clipped-up version on the main Rebellious Noise channel as well, where we basically said the same thing, or Dan said the same thing, and we all loved the idea where he could get into the match. And I guess they could still do it that way by facing both Usos, because again, eventually we've got to get Jimmy back.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it's just Jey, to be fair, in some sort of, they could have, I reckon they could really have a really solid kind of either a cage match or...
Jey deserves a match at Mania, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. How are you going to have a man have two of the best world title matches, of the year last year, really, against obviously Roman, and then not having a part of Mania? But it is WWE. They just today released someone who was competing for a tag team championship at last year's WrestleMania, but he had nothing to do with him. Like a few months down the line, it's you know. Yeah, Vinny and I, we always discuss this, like, you know, with Edge. Edge, sadly, like not sadly, but Edge was one of those people where when there was 2 world championships, that's how he built up his reigns. And obviously people like Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, etc., they built up reigns in eras where they had 1 world title. So obviously Hogan's, 6 world championships that he had were massive, obviously for the time. There's only one world title, but then is it the case? But Edge's won a lot of them as well. They only lasted like a month, the one defense. So yeah, like I'm always a bit like when people say he's like 11-time world champion, I'm a bit like, oh. I
think anything post, anything post what 2003, 4, 2. Well, when did the world heavyweight come in? 2002, was it? Yeah. So anything post then is like you kind of like really half that. Anyone that's got anything, you kind of only won half that.
Well, it's saying like when Randy Orton won his last year, which again we've mentioned enough times about how Drew shouldn't have probably lost that belt or whatever, but it's case he lost to Randy Orton for like 3 weeks, just literally so that Randy Orton gets another title reign, so he gets closer to 16, because the match is coming between him and Cena. I was actually thinking the other day, because I watched I was watching some clips when Cena came out as Dr. Thugonomics at WrestleMania 35, and I haven't been there. I don't really know what the commentary is, so every now and then I'll be like, oh, let me check this out and see what they actually said about this. So, and on that, I was watching it back and they were like, yeah, the 16-time champion. And I was like, oh yeah, Cena's got that many times. So it did make me think, actually, I got an idea for a video I'd like to do with you guys. So keep your eyes peeled, because hopefully we'll be doing that. And I do want to discuss, basically, let's not say it now, but should anyone beat Ric Flair's record? So we'll talk about that.
Charlotte.
Hey, come on now. That's probably going to happen.
She's on like 10 though, isn't she? 10?
Oh, man, she's going to get there. Yeah, she's going to get there. But anyway, I'm looking forward to what I think is going to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania, and a great match again. Like I said at the Chamber one, just the bits of Roman just fighting his way out of submissions and battering Daniel Bryan, just such a cool visual. So yeah, I'm all for seeing more of this.
Charlotte or Randy? I mean, what's the question before that? That's what I want to know.
No, I think it's to break the record.
Yeah, break the record.
Yeah, Randy. We'll go. I'd say Randy. But
what you want or you think? Well, Randy's closer, obviously, but
yeah. I just don't like the idea of just Charlotte having that many title reigns that quick.
Maybe in another 10 years. But they need to slow down some of these title reigns.
Yeah,
it's tricky though, because I guess we are in the generation now where people aren't retiring. People, they're quite happy to come back and win world championships. See Goldberg, or be part-time, even like Lesnar, and be world champion. So it's very tricky, because that's true. I mean, even like The Rock, he must be on about 9, 10 championships in total as well. Like, could he come back and just have a couple of reigns? So it's hard to know. But
maybe Hogan will win the title this year because he's at Mania, isn't he? So who knows?
It's going to be next.
The comparison with Edge will go because Hogan will get more.
Go on,
Dan.
I was going to say WrestleMania 38. It's going to be a triple threat match: Ric Flair, John Cena, Randy Orton. Who's going to get 17 first?
Who's going to get them first? I wouldn't be surprised.
Rick would die getting down the ramp.
Hopefully not.
Not if they use one of the golf carts or something.
Like at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I think that's definitely something for a future video that we can do. Regarding this, it's a big topic. I know. Clive, your comment again. We've kind of, it's something definitely for a bigger video, I think.
Yeah, and, definitely. It's a good idea. Legacy, killing legacy.
We can like that on the channel, I guess. Because it's a big record. we don't want to even be talking about it. At the end of a video that's an hour and a half long, but yeah.
I've just seen that comment.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
I think you might. Speaking of which, that was weird, wasn't it? Rubber. Joseph Average winning the 24/7 title. Well, I guess so.
It was Eric Bugenhagen, wasn't it? From NXT.
Was it?
Is that the one that got a really high pitched voice when he sung or something?
I think so. I'm not too sure.
I don't know.
He is.
Okay.
Hey, put some respect on the man's name. He's the 24/7 champion now. Okay. Well,
he was.
Man, I want to win that title now. It seems attainable. I want to win it.
R-Truth is now 50-time
That's mad.
24/7 champion.
50. But can we guys, can we do like a campaign like to try and make me 24/7 champion? Can we try that? Can it start here, please?
I reckon if you got an interview with like R-Truth, he would just.
Oh, come on, guys. All right, let's start from this day forward. Is my goal to someday be 24/7 champion. Right,
We'll not just have a Reb Noise 24/7 championship.
No, man, I got to win the WWE's one. I got to do it. All right, let's try. Hey, dream big, baby. A few subscribers on the channel would be nice as well.
Definitely something R-Truth would do, Because the thing is, it would just mean he'd become another reign to his one anyway. So
yeah, true. He might agree.
He'd obviously win it back.
He might agree. All right, let's do it.
But yeah, R-Truth, Ron Killings, if you're listening, or if you're finding this, and please come when you're allowed to travel, probably in about 5 years' time. And you're already probably 100-time 24/7 champ.
Yeah, and well deserved as well.
Yeah, well
Put that out there, Trophy. Well deserved.
To be fair, it is. He's the only guy who's meant to do that kind of stuff, and he's generally funny. I think R-Truth. He's generally quite funny, and he's able to again be a wrestler. That doesn't age. It seems been in the company over 20 years on and off. Obviously.
He's a vampire, mate. Yeah.
But anyway, in terms of what our situation, I think we've kind of just got. I don't know, and I think we're in a situation where SmackDown most likely we're going to see an announcement that a triple threat will be put on the Mania card. I'm assuming. I would be up for the Jey Uso example as well that we've discussed. I think that's also pretty cool. He gets with Jey Uso on the card. And
I like that one.
Because I saw as well on their graphic that they're selling combo tickets to Mania. And so they would need one match really that would link the two. Because it's one of those things, isn't it? Like obviously if us four went, for instance, so that's two of us can only afford to go one night, and two of us, the other two obviously went both nights. It's a case of, our experience is now different to yours because you've seen
the continuation.
Matches, And so again, going forward, if two night manias stay a regular thing, please do, in my opinion. Then...
I don't know. That's another topic for another day as well, I think.
It's just a 1 8-hour show. It's just
I don't like that either. But just from watching Wrestle Kingdom in the past few years, I don't like how they do it. So
I think WWE are in a better position to do it though. I think we're having the two brands, two world titles, belt. But I think the problem they'd have, this year they can't do what they're doing this year because I think there would be a situation where, again, like if obviously us four bought the tickets, let's say, there's different wrestlers we all want to see. I would not be happy if Randy Orton's not on my show, for instance.
Oh, you'd have to go to both. Like you'd have to go to both if it was 2 nights. Like, there's no way. I'd have to, man. Like I wouldn't.
It depends on the person, doesn't it? It depends on the person.
But it's hard enough to skip Raws and SmackDowns and NXTs and Hall of Fames out there. I feel like and there's so much on as well. Like last time I didn't go Hall of Fame because we were covering the New Japan ROH show instead of MSG. So I just gave up my Hall of Fame ticket and I was okay doing that. But I don't think I'd be okay giving up Raw after Mania unless the product's not very good. In which case, why have I gone to Mania? Or giving up a second night of Mania or a first night of Mania. I couldn't, like you said earlier, like feeling like you've missed something at Mania. Oh, they're going to hear this and they're going to make it 2 nights now. Oh, crap. No, I don't. They're going to be like, people have to spend the money, do they? They have to see both. That's not what I'm saying, WWE. Don't do it.
It's difficult because I guess like it might help make Mania more accessible for some people, I guess, who obviously don't have the money to go to both nights. We'll go to one. And
if they bring the price down, maybe, I
don't know. Maybe we'll see from this year. I think definitely this year they'll be looking at patterns. And again, it's hard because obviously the pandemic is still obviously affecting it with all the travel and stuff. But they will be looking at all our tickets coming from combo sales or single. And I think you'll be surprised. I think there's still a percentage of people who would be happy just seeing one night, paying X amount because you're still going to see essentially. 6 to 8 matches.
Well, it's tough at the moment not knowing which night's going to get what, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. And obviously that's
because at least with Wrestle Kingdom, they did say what night. I think for the most part, they say what's going to be on each show. But
WWE probably announced it on 5 minutes before, most likely.
They changed their mind. Yeah. Shane McMahon will bring Elias in.
Elias would play. That's it. We haven't talked about that option. What if Shane McMahon replaces Edge with Elias in the Mania match?
Why not?
It's crazy. Crazy thoughts. So yeah, as we see, obviously, so the match finishing with Roman Reigns being victorious, and obviously that then leads us nicely into our prediction table. Obviously, Rob didn't gain the extra point for this one, and it would have been an all-important point as well. So let's take a quick look now. Ready? There we go. So Rob,
Wow.
And I'm only up there because of the streak. Like, if you had been in front already, you'd technically be top. So we've got one more pay-per-view to go. And I mean, yeah, granted it's 2 nights, but mate, look how close it's coming down to the wire.
I mean, even for mine was just, so the 2 that I said that I would have actually swapped last night would have put me level on points with you 2 as well. It's just, and had you not said about the old
Rob, you look gutted. You're so close. I'm gutted. You've got close.
Daniel Bryan won that match. And
you know what? To me, though, yeah, mate, Lucas, yeah. You got to catch up.
To be fair, he's lucky that he's actually got in the 30s. To be fair, some of the predictions.
Yeah, I was impressed with that. I'm annoyed though that I didn't get it. You can't say nothing, mate. I said the enforcer was going to cause it, and I should have. When you said it on the original predictions, I was like, yeah, I don't know why I went with the shenanigans, because of course it would be solved on SmackDown. It wouldn't be solved that night. I'm so stupid. Like I was right about, like, yeah, it will definitely, enforcer, but no, of course they'd get another ref out there. They couldn't end the pay-per-view with don't know who won. So man, I'm gutted to put the bonus point, because again, up until that point, I was right, and I could have got the bonus point and the draw.
Mate, this is the company that did like a draw inside Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's very odd, because I thought that too for a second. Like when obviously Edge left the ring, I'm like, yeah, Billy. I don't know if he's seen how many videos he's seen. Obviously, there was a period, obviously, when I was in my Otis mania, wasn't I?
Otis was cashing in every month. Yeah,
he was cashing in every single show.
Women's title match, Otis is cashing in.
Yeah, I loved it. I got into the cinematic matches, and I was like, yeah,
anything goes. Yeah, true.
It didn't end up happening. But well, yeah, I'm probably not going to see that. But to be fair, Mania is going to probably have at least 12 matches on it in total. So it's going to be tough. There's a lot of points.
Yeah. Well, I guess when we do the predictions, we'll go into, because we're going to do some bonus points again, like we did for the Rumble as well. So yeah, it's going to be. I mean, Lucas, you could catch up and win the whole thing. I still think that is a possibility. The amount of matches. So
be my miracle.
It'd be the greatest comeback of all time.
That'd be a better comeback than Edge at the 2020 Royal Rumble.
It will be. Mate, when that point goes over the top, it'd be like Edge's music hitting all over again.
It'd be like, you think you know me? So yeah, that's obviously everything from Fastlane. Don't forget, you've got the Fastlane Hangover with Scott that's coming up, and Lucas, you've got your review as well of it that's coming up soon.
Yeah,
don't forget
that's coming up soon. Yeah,
the Fastlane in a nutshell. Yeah,
so check out it. And obviously you're watching the recap and review. You're already here for that, but watch it again if you want.
And then you're gonna have me on Lather SmackDown next Saturday, where we will be talking all the fallout from Fastlane. So what happens on Raw and SmackDown, etc. A bit of NXT thrown in as well. So yeah, I mean, for now, I guess that's it. We are now, as we've said, well and truly on the Fastlane 2 WrestleMania. That's going to be a busy old week for us boys, but you know what? Let's just get some energy drinks inside us. Let's get on the road. Let's zoom straight in to Raymond James Stadium, WrestleMania. Let's do this.
Still pointing at the Fastlane content coming up, guys. Ready? Boom. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.